Hello and welcome. My name is Viviane Berechukwu. I thank you for liking, I thank you for sharing and subscribing to this channel. So today would have been my parents' 45th wedding anniversary and my dad's 72nd birthday. But the Lord called him home 3 years ago. And some members of my family were speaking about celebrating his 45th wedding anniversary and his 72nd birthday as though he was still here. So that got me somehow. I had to correct them. The spiritual realm is so real, and whatever we give access to the enemy to, he will come in and take. The devil does not waste time. In the traditional wedding vows, it says till death do us part, and that literally means what it says. When someone crosses over, they have crossed over. Let us stop celebrating their anniversaries as though it counts year by year. My parents' wedding anniversary ended on their 42nd, exactly when the Lord called my dad home. Now, that wasn't by our choice, but it was by the design and the choice and will of God for it to be so. The spiritual realm is as real as the physical realm is. We open doors to these spirits. There are wicked spirits, evil spirits that are looking for loopholes, that are looking for opportunities, open doors that will give them access for them to come into this physical realm and begin to torment and afflict the children of God. Now, they cannot do this unless you give them this opening, unless you open a door. Because the Lord, when he created these realms, he made it in such a way that there will be no interactions. But then there are loopholes, there are open doors, there are ways we can give them access. And that is by opening doors like this out of ignorance. I have had stories of people who their late spouses will come to them in dreams to have sex with them. And because they have thought that this is their spouse, still, they have allowed it. I had a particular story of a lady who, by the time she realized that that wasn't her spouse and she wanted to break free, it now entered, it became torment, it became rape, it became something else. Now I am not desensitized to the emotions and feelings of people. I did lose my dad. And I understand the pain of my siblings, but he's no longer here. Every year when that time comes, what we can do is to remember them, how they were, but be aware that they are no more. Don't celebrate birthdays and let it count. Oh, they are 10 today, they are 5 there. No, it ended that day they left. I have seen my spiritual father during sessions of deliverance and prophecies tell people that the Lord is asking them to take that wedding ring off because whoever their spouse was is no more, and that is why they are still being in captivity, because they still have their wedding rings on. These things are real. The spiritual realm is not a joke, and the earlier we know about this and we begin to take it seriously, a lot of us will not be in bondage and captivity. Of course, I miss my dad. He's one person I really wanted to see me prosper. My dad didn't get to see what the Lord was doing in my life. My dad saw me in pain. My dad saw me in so much pain, and he tried everything to help me. He couldn't help me. He raised me right. He did his best with me. He sent me to the best schools. He even sent me abroad to go further my education in the United Kingdom. But I came back empty. I couldn't get a job. I came back without a spouse. I even moved into my parents' home. He tried to help me. He tried, but he couldn't. I was in the worst place in my life at that time. It pained him to see me that way, and especially that he couldn't help me. I always felt I disappointed him. And I really wanted him to be alive to have seen what the Lord was doing in my life. But he isn't no more. And the Lord, by his mercy, comforted me when he took him home. The Lord will comfort you too, but you have to allow him to comfort you. You see, what these things does is that when we are ignorant and we have opened these doors, we by choice refuse to let go of the ones the Lord had called home. We get attacked. We open a door, and through these doors attacks come, afflictions, oppressions come. And some people you see will not be able to cope because they'll begin to hear voices tell them, what is the point of living? You are better off dead than alive. And you see, because they have heard and believed these voices, a lot of people choose no longer to live anymore. The devil is wicked. And he does not like to waste time or opportunities. So every little one you give him, he comes in immediately and he begins to take from you. He begins to take from you. He begins to deceive and take from you. We open these doors and many wicked spirits come in, and spirit of death is one of them. When you lose somebody and you refuse to let go, death comes in. When the Lord had already prepared all these great things for you to live, you wouldn't be able to see them because all you see is hopelessness. The word of God says that we grieve, but when we grieve, we should not grieve like the people of the world, because there are people who grieve like there is no hope. But there is hope. When you grieve, know that you grieve because there will be a time when you get to see everyone again. The Lord has promised us that there will be a resurrection where we will see our loved ones. We grieve like people who have hope and not like people who do not have hope. We have hope. So please, my appeal, I am not just saying, I am appealing. Let this message speak to somebody, and let this bring you out of captivity, of bondage that we have put ourselves in because we are ignorant. The word of God says, my people perish because of ignorance. I don't want you to perish anymore. I don't want to perish anymore. There are still places in my life that I am still ignorant. Learning is progressive, and I've been asking the Lord to expose every single one of them so that I will not be in a single captivity. Because every ignorant area of our life is a place we have allowed the devil to come in and take. He takes, he brings in his spirits, he makes it his home. But what the light of God does, which is truth and revelations, it exposes that place. And because of it, we are able to come out of captivity. So let this be for you today, that this message helps you come out of it. I sympathize with everybody who is grieving. I understand what it is to grieve. I have known pain. I have known pain, not just the pain of losing someone who I loved, but I have known pain. I am like a walking example of being through it all. But the Lord, by his mercy and his grace, keeps me going by looking to him and him alone. So I sympathize with you for whoever you have lost. But please know there is hope. There is hope. And I don't want you to open the door that you will find difficult to shut later. Let this message give you hope today. And I also pray that the Lord will comfort you through your loss. Thank you for listening to this message. If it has been a blessing to you, please kindly like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Until the very next one, God bless you.